tune, and then we'll get started.
Go. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, indeed. Yeah. I know that you're all concerned that today is like the first Sunday of NFL football, right? And so you're worried, like, how am I going to see the game today? Can this be over quick so I can get back home? I know that's a big concern for everybody here. Maybe not. Joshua, thank you so much. Yeah. And first of all, welcome. Welcome to everybody who's here for the first time. It's great to see you. If you're back and you haven't been here for a while, it's great to see you. And if you're here every week, it's great to see you. So thanks for being here. And for those joining online, we thank you for being here as well. We're going to start off. For those that don't know, I'm Reverend Thomas. I'm the senior spiritual leader here at Unity Vancouver Island. And for those that are new, we have 3 locations. We are in Comox Valley. We are also in Victoria, and then we're here in Nanaimo. And we try to serve all 3 locations as best we can. We're going to start off with, this is September, and so we have a new order for this month. A new power for this month, and the power is order. Thank you. And order is located just in our navel area. So if we want to hold some space there and pray into that area or just feel a vibration of creating order and balance in our lives, we can do that simply by taking a breath, closing our eyes, and what I like to use is a PBS, pause, breathe, soften, just into that space. Taking a breath in and letting that go, yeah. And the color for order is olive green. And you can think of order as the power to organize, to align ourselves, to create harmony in our lives. It works very well with the power of love, which is located here in our heart space. And I've got a few notes here. Because it's the first Sunday where we celebrate order, I would like to just talk a little bit about it. So you can think of underdeveloped order results in someone who cannot organize, balance, or make adjustments in their life very easily. And you might consider that it feels disorganized, it feels disorderly, or even in extreme situations, it might even show up as being slovenly, right? We just can't get it together. Anybody ever felt that way with any area of their life? Yeah. You know, I finally got my garage organized this year for the 8th time. Because every time I do, more stuff seems to come out of the basement. I don't know where it comes from, and then it finds its way in the garage, and then within a couple of months, the car can't be parked in the garage, and the whole cycle begins for me again. That's exactly right. I'm cleaning out the basement is what's really going on. I'm organizing that first. Too much order or egocentric order results in someone who is overly fastidious about their immediate environment. For example, everything must be exactly correct, right? You can think of this as the towels in the bathroom need to be spaced perfectly on the bar. Everything needs to be squared up. The pictures in the home have to all be at the same level. This isn't a judgment of good or bad. It's just an area to look at. Is this something that I'm a little bit overzealous about? So, what is divine order? It is not manipulation or forcing outcomes. Divine order is the assurance that everything unfolds in right time, right place, right action. In other words, we can pause, breathe, and soften into any area and trust that the universe is unfolding. It's going to unfold perfectly. It's the only way it can unfold. And we don't need to force ourselves upon it. We can allow for that space to show up. So you can think of it like this. There's human control, which can create resistance and stress. And then there's that shift to patience, trust, and divine sequence. And with that in mind, I will light, he's going to light the candle. I will light this candle and make sure it sticks in the holder in an orderly way, correct. And then our second candle we light is the candle to celebrate our Christ consciousness, that indwelling spirit that we all have. And I don't know if it's true for you, but for me, one of the biggest challenges in life is acknowledging and seeing the Christ consciousness in everybody, especially those that trigger me, that pull me out of my calm environment into a state of madness. It's holding that space and seeing that in them. And so if you wouldn't mind just taking a nice deep breath in and honoring that space within each one of us. All right. So we've done that. Next up, please join us after service. A couple of things is today we will have refreshments after service, but there's also a community circle happening today for our congregation here to bring forth ideas and to just kind of get an update from me and some notes from the board. So please stay after service for that. And even if you're not a regular attendant here, you're more than welcome to stay and hear what we have to say. It's not a private engagement or ceremony that we're having. And then let's just take a moment here also to acknowledge the traditional and unceded territory of the Snuneymuxw people, where we get the name Nanaimo from, who have cared for this land and taken the language of this land, the wildlife of this land, and brought it into their consciousness and their rituals, and allowing us to be here on this space and share it with them. And for that, we say Haisepka, and we welcome our presence here in collaboration with them. And our vision for Unity Vancouver Island, please join me if you will, is a growing, unfolding, expanding center of light and love, mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. Yeah, and for those that don't know, when I first came to Unity, which was then Unity of Nanaimo, I read that slide and I was like, wow, I've never heard a spiritual center speak like that. And next thing you know, I decided, I think I should become a minister. Yeah. And if you wouldn't mind, we'll just take a few moments here to join in affirmative prayer, one of our great practices here at Unity. And so I invite all of us to just take a moment here, hold this space, and affirm what we know to be true, that peace is in the world, that love is in the world. We acknowledge that we all have the ability to hold this space of peace and love and light, and through our own recognition, through our own practice of holding this space, we in fact give permission for others to do the same. And so for this we say thank you, Spirit, and so it is. Mr. Josh.
Let's do it. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into life, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is abundance in our fellowship. This is a place we all belong. We place our trust in this great holiness. This is the moment, come along. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into life, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is a promise in our thankfulness. We know that when we seek, we find. We place our trust in this great holiness. This sacred space is yours and mine. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into life, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. Welcome to this day, people. Welcome to this day. Welcome to this day, people. Welcome to this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for your gifts, Spirit. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your gifts, Spirit. Thank you for your gifts. Your marvelous, your marvelous, your marvelous gifts. Your marvelous, your marvelous, your marvelous gifts. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you, Thomas.
I feel a little bit like a jack in the box this morning. And then I go over here. And then I go over there. Some announcements. So yes, today after service here in Nanaimo, we have a community circle. Next Sunday, I will actually be up in Comox, and after service there, we will have a community circle. And then the last Sunday of this month, I will be down in Victoria, and after service there, we will have a community circle as well. So mark that on your calendars if you're in Comox or if you're in Victoria, please. This Wednesday is the Unity World Day of Prayer. It kicks off at 5 o'clock p.m. We can gather here in the library. We will watch the broadcast together from Unity Village. You can also register for that yourself. If you have our newsletter, you can click a link and register for that event and watch it at home if you would like to, or you can gather with us here. I know in Victoria, they will also be doing the same thing, where you can gather at the First Met or United Church, or what's it called? Commons United, as it is now called, but it's the place where we've always gathered for the last couple of years. And again, that starts off at 5 o'clock, and there's a live broadcast coming out from Unity Village. Next Saturday, we'll have the picnic in Victoria, the annual picnic in Victoria at Beaver Lake Park, 11 a.m. till we're done, pretty much. And so if you would like to, I know I'll be going down for that, and there usually is some people from Nanaimo and Comox that make the trip down, so you're more than welcome to join us for that. And again, you just bring what you need to take care of yourself, and sharesies. Sharesies are good. If you can bring some sharesies along with you, that would be great. Which don't get confused with chairsies. You can also bring your chairs, but also maybe some sharesies as well. Tuesday, September 16th, we will be launching a book study, so it'll be both in person here and online. Martha Creek's Presence and Potential is the book we will be going through, and that begins at 6 p.m., goes for about an hour and a half, so 6 to 7:30 p.m., and I think there's 10 or 11 weeks that we'll be doing that. And here's the thing, you can come and go as you like. If you sign up for it, it does not mean you have to be every single week. It would be great if you were, because the great thing about groups is you'll notice that the more people they are, the more gather for it. Right? It's kind of synonymous that the more people you get there, the larger the group. But it also leads to sharing from people and getting new ideas from other people. And that's really the advantage, is to hear what other people's experience is and what they're pulling from that, or what they're getting as a reaction in their life from the material. And for all of our ongoing events, you can come to our webpage at unityvancouverisland.com. And you can get it from there. And wow. Yeah, info at unityvancouverisland.com. If you want to join the mailing list, you can do it that way, or on our website, you could click the link to join and subscribe to our mailing list, get our newsletter. And for today's daily word, isn't that interesting how I did not? I know I've got it. Here it is. Whew. Saved by technology. Who gets to say that, huh? How often do you say, wow, I was saved by technology, instead of, why is the technology? Oh, and it's beautiful. Today's daily word is free. I am free through my awareness of God. So for those that don't know, the Daily Word has been in subscription out of Unity now for over 100 years. There is a Daily Word that has been produced every single day. And there's a whole backlog catalog. You can go back and go to the archives and register and see any Daily Word from any day over the last 100 plus years and see what the writing was. It's interesting to see how the writing has shifted a little bit, but not, it's still kind of similar. Anyhow, today, free. Visualizing freedom. I may think of a bird soaring above the earth, a child running across a park flying a kite, or a waterfall cascading into a river that will continue its journey as far as I can see. Beyond those exhilarating images, another more personal example evokes a feeling of freedom, my connection with God. God is limitless and unbounded. When I align myself with the Spirit of God within me, I feel likewise limitless. This is where my freedom lies. No matter the state of my life or the conditions of the world, I remain free in the Spirit of God. I face each day with hope and positive expectation. Just as the bird that soars, the kite that glides, the waterfall that roars, I move freely through my life because of my oneness with God. And of course, in Unity, we look at God as that indwelling Christ Spirit. Whether you want to call it universe, God, creator, whatever word works for you, that's just fine. There's no rules. I think we're over to you, sir.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision, and no one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Yeah. 'Cause love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision, and no one else can make me forgive. 'Cause once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision, and no one else can lighten my load. 'Cause once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now.
Finally! After all that other stuff. I just met Reverend Dr. Pat Campbell this morning for the first time, other than our communications online, which started, 2 months ago? 3 months ago? So I have spent a great deal of time traveling since being ordained as a minister, and even when I was on my way to being ordained, I was looking for speaking gigs across America as I rode my motorcycle to Missouri, and it was fascinating to me how many people were just not willing to give up the microphone, especially for somebody they didn't know, right? So it kind of makes sense. It's like, what if this guy is completely useless? But as soon as I doubt that that's the case. As soon as Pat reached out to me, that's what went into my head. It's like, oh, if I want that in my life, then I need to be willing to also do the same thing. And so it was an immediate yes to have Pat come here when she was in town to speak. So for those that don't know, Reverend Dr. Pat Campbell has been the spiritual director of the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living for 12 years. Prior to that, she served as spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Living in Temecula Valley for 15 years. Is that incorrect? Give it. Temecula. Here we go. Temecula, which kind of makes sense the way it's spelled. Whatever. I'm a drummer. Come on, cut me some slack. You know, the knuckles drag once in a while. What can I say? Dr. Pat has served the greater New Thought community in many roles through the years, including being co-chair of the recent SOAR retreat in Banff, Alberta. Dr. Pat is known for her down-to-earth style and humor in teaching spiritual principle. She's the author of a book, Giving God a Good Time. She lives in Calgary with her 2 cats, Tom and Jerry. Please help give a UVI welcome to Dr. Reverend Pat Campbell. Thank you.
microphone. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. I get that out of the way.
I'm going to just
I
move
don't
this.
roam quite as much as Thomas does. So I'll stay here for the camera. I bring greetings from the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, who graciously gave me a 2-month sabbatical, of which I'm halfway through and spending 3 weeks here in your beautiful area to just unplug and be. So I'm so grateful for that. Would you breathe with me, please? Taking a deep breath. And again. And one more time at your own pace. Can you feel it? I just love doing that. I started it many, many years ago of breathing together at the beginning of the talk because it just levels the playing field. We've now all breathed the same air. How beautiful is that? So a few weeks ago, I led my spiritual community in Calgary through what I thought was a thought-provoking conversation around the idea of you know more than you think you do. And I used a quote from Dr. Spock, not Mr. Spock. We got various generations here. How many think I was talking about Mr. Spock? Okay, Dr. Spock, he was the baby doctor in the 50s and 60s. Many of us were raised with his teachings. And he wrote in his book, "Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do." And not only, imagine that, how comforting that was with new parents through the years, but it's also comforting for us because it's true. And the reason it is true is because that all of us actually take in so much more information than we are aware of at any given time because there is so much going on around us that we don't consciously see and we don't consciously experience. And yet much of that energy and that information and those tastes and that smell and that sound and those feelings and those vibes get stored in a place in our minds called schemas. schemas, schemas. And a schema is a mental filing system. They are defined as a system by which our human minds collect and store information and data, an underlying mental framework that stores and organizes lived knowledge. So all this stuff is going on all around us, and it gets stored even when we are not aware of it. So just by going through life, by having our lived experiences, we observe and we maintain and we store tons of information, which then subsequently translates in we know the more than we think we do. Can I get a yes to that? Yes, absolutely. It's like any number of situations that you're in your life, and you think to yourself, I know this. I know this. Whether it's in a social setting, or you get this brilliant download, and you think to yourself, wow, I know this. Or how about when you've taken a class, and you think to yourself, I know this. I've heard this before. Even if you haven't consciously heard it before, you still know it. Or you have a skill that you didn't know you had until you needed it. So, before I get to the meat of the talk, I need to establish a truth. And I sat through the meditation this morning with this lovely lady whose name I don't know. Thank you. And it was just wonderful. And she kind of stole my talk. So, but that... That's okay, we're all one, which is the point I'm about to make, because the truth is we are all connected. And I know you hear that every single week, but it's essential to really get it, to understand how the universe works and our place in it. So when I talk about connection, I'm not just talking about a kumbaya sort of, oh yeah, I'm you and you and me, la, la, la. But that the connection I'm talking about is a very real, very scientific, metaphysical, spiritual way. Because the truth is, we all come from the same stuff. We are all made of the same substance. We have the same blood running through us. We breathe the same air. And even though we think our individual thoughts and we know our individual things, we are still part of a collective consciousness of everyone as far back as humanity has existed. So my tradition is Centers for Spiritual Living, the Science of Mind, and our founder, who was a cohort, shall we say, of the Fillmores, was Ernest Holmes. And we use a book called The Science of Mind, and he had a very old-fashioned way of calling what we're talking about, this collective consciousness. He called it race consciousness or race suggestion. And that sounds like a really weird thing to us in 2025, because what he's talking about has absolutely nothing to do with the color of our skin or the color of our hair or our eyes. Race suggestion is another way of defining this collective consciousness we're talking about, this group think, if you've heard that term before. It is those collective thoughts that bind us together. A more modern version of that was the basis of the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. He called race suggestion or race thought our agreements. Remember that from that book, that we were born into particular agreements. He wrote this: collective agreements, such as shared beliefs, rules, and values that are passed down through culture, family, religion, and society. From the moment we are born, we are domesticated into these agreements, essentially trained to accept a worldview that we didn't consciously choose. In other words, we're born into a system of knowledge and beliefs and culture and faith traditions and information that we didn't have anything to do with creating, and yet we are incredibly influenced by them in how we walk through life and what we know. Kind of like the schema, the mental filing system. Because sometimes those agreements or those beliefs are based in outdated or erroneous information. Anybody here have any belief systems that no longer serve, but you were raised with, that you came through with? Yeah. They may look like myths. They may look like urban legends. They may be family stories that our ancestors tell over and over and over again, such as the earth is flat. Do we have any flat earthers here? Okay. Or this one my mother taught me, and it's not true. I don't like to say this, but it's not true. That when you go outside with wet hair, you're going to get sick. Anybody get that one? Yeah, you know what? It's not true. Because as society has become more knowledgeable, as they've gotten through science and through education, I bet you taught your daughters that, didn't you, Mom? But as we have learned more, as we have more science, more education, those agreements and those beliefs are been proven false. The earth is not flat. And yet, we might hold on to them because they are deeply ingrained in our schema, in our collective consciousness. And they can keep us stuck. Anybody? Anybody willing to cop to it? Yeah, absolutely. Anybody here have patterns or beliefs or limitations that you didn't even know you had, but you were born into them? But there's good news. You want the good news? I'm not going to keep talking about schema, I promise. We can reprogram. You are great, by the way. How fun are you? My gosh. Thank you. Okay. So I can go off script if I want. No, we can reprogram our collective agreements. As Don Miguel Ruiz said, collective agreements are shared social contracts that we've been conditioned to follow. But we have the power to consciously rewrite them. Now, if you were my community, I would have you go, yay! Yay! Do not tell me that Calgarians are more rowdy than you are. When I say that you can rewrite your collective agreements and say yay, say, oh, hey. He said collective agreements are shared social contracts we've conditioned to follow. We have the power to consciously rewrite them. This is true for us individually. It is true for us collectively. In other words, if enough of us become aware that our agreements can be rewritten or that they can be revised, we can let go of them. Not only are we making a big difference in our own lives, we are also making a huge difference in the collective, which in turn makes a huge difference in the world as we are experiencing it. Just like the meditation. We think those thoughts, we send that out into the world. That is changing the collective. Yes, I really am like this. Okay. And there's even more good news. Do you want to hear the more good news? Okay. As part of the collective, we get to use the thought field and access all of that information, all of that brilliant, creative, intelligent, high-minded, high-vibe information for us individually as well as collectively. In other words, not only do we tap into our own minds, oh, I know more than I think I do, but I have access to resources and information of the collective consciousness of humanity. It is there for the taking. So I'm going to give you an example. It's silly, but I bet that's going to surprise you. It's a little bit of a silly thing, but it works. So one of my morning routines to help keep my mind sharp and active, after all I am of a certain age, and I like to do the New York Times Games app. You know what I'm talking about? Wordle. And the spelling bee, and the mini crossword, although they're charging for it now, it kind of ticks me off. The mini crossword and a game called Connections. Are you all familiar with Connections? If you've ever played Connections, you know it's fun, but it's kind of challenging, right? So on it, I was going to bring up my phone and show you, is a grid of 4 columns and 4 rows. And each box has a word in it. And the purpose is to find out how the words are somehow related to one another in 4 groups of 4. Yes, you're nodding your head. And it goes from pretty easy, sort of, to tricky. And I say that because even the easy ones can be hard. And another thing that makes it challenging is that the groupings can be common sense, sure. They can be history, culture, they can be different ways of spelling or grammar, and they can be pop culture. Like how do these musicians tie in, or movies, you know, what the similar theme, or TV shows, or TikTok, okay? So I think I'm pretty hip. Come on, that was funny. Okay. Okay, I do like you. Yeah. He's like, yeah, you are. You go, So I like to think I'm pretty with it, right? But I do not know the latest in pop culture. However, when I'm doing the connections game, I know that I have access to the collective consciousness of the entire world. So don't laugh. Before I begin my connections game every morning, I close my eyes and I mentally draw to me the minds of those who might know the answer to the puzzle. And I'm like, come on, friends. Come on, let's figure out this puzzle. I may not know the answers, but I know that someone in this collective does. That's pretty out there, I admit. But actually, it's not. It is simply recognizing and utilizing the collective knowledge that we all have access to, because, paraphrasing Dr. Ernest Holmes, what is known in one mind is known in all minds. Yeah, right? I know. It is another example of you know more than you think you do. Now, the question is, does it always work? Do I get every connections game all the time exactly right? The answer is no, I don't. But I have no doubt in my mind that I have received some sort of insight or some sort of wisdom that I didn't think I knew, but it turns out some part of me did know it. So which brings me to another aspect of knowing. One of the most surefire ways of receiving information and inspiration and ideas and insight is through your intuition. I'm going to say those words before because I just realized what an alliteration this was. Receiving information, inspiration, insights, ideas, and intuition. I didn't even know I did that. Oh, sorry. Is this being recorded? Okay, anyway. Intuition is one of those things that's really hard to explain, and yet once you learn how to identify it, once you learn how to trust it, it is unmistakable. So intuition is defined as the ability to understand something immediately without the need of conscious reasoning. Yeah. You just know that you know. A thing that one knows or considers likely from the instinctive feeling rather than from conscious reasoning. Like, I just know that. And, you know, a lot of times guys think that they don't have intuition. See if any of these fit. A hunch. Guys have hunches. She just did this to him. Okay. Gut feelings. Inklings. Spidey sense. I like to use that one too because I'm cool. I already told you that, right? So, the still small voice, a nudge, a whisper. Now, intuition sometimes gets a bad rap for being too woo-woo. But the truth is we all have access to it, even if we don't know that we do. But for those of us, and I'm willing to say this group here, of those of us who consciously court intuition, constantly nurture our intuition, we know it is a fail-safe way of receiving guidance and knowledge. So how do we court it? How do we nurture it? How do we bring it in so that we know that we can rely on it? Well, the first thing you got to do is acknowledge that it exists. There is such a thing as intuition, yes? Everybody go like this. The next thing we need to do is to make it welcome. Now, don't get me wrong, intuition always exists. It is always available to everybody, but there is a way to make it welcome so that we recognize it when it is happening. So I have a few steps, a few tools to share with you about nurturing intuition that increases our reliance on it, shall we say. So the first one is, I bet you guys do this already. In order to nurture intuition, make space for quiet. Because intuition speaks to us in whispers, not shouts. So create those quiet moments every day, journaling, meditating, taking a walk, or heaven forbid, sitting in the silence without a device. And then, notice what you're noticing. Start tuning into your subtle responses. When something feels off, pay attention. When something feels on or right, pay attention. Maybe even keep like a little notebook or something where you jot down when you had a gut feeling, whether you followed it or not. Start paying attention and notice what you're noticing. Trust your small hunches first. You know how we're always waiting for the big moment, the thunderbolt to come down and hit you? Yeah, that can happen, absolutely. But right now, practice on the small decisions. What to eat? What route do I take? Who should I pick up the phone and call or send a text to? As you answer and act on these nudges, you start to trust your intuitive voice within. This next one is fun. Engage your imagination. Because intuition thrives when you let the creative mind play. So daydream, write, dance, draw, sing, whatever brings you joy. Do something to connect with the non-linear part of your mind. Because that is the intuition's playground. The next one, listen to your body. Intuition often speaks to us through our bodies. That tightness in your chest, yeah. That lightness in your step, yeah, that's your intuition. Learn how your body says yes, says no. It is incredibly wise. And the last one is, and this one is for me, not for you. You can listen if you want. Respect the timing. Sometimes intuition doesn't make sense right now. But with engagement, with patience, patterns start to emerge. So give yourself permission to not know everything immediately. This is a really tough one for me. I'm trying to sell a house, and I'm trying to buy a house. And they're not happening at the same time, unfortunately. So I am not the world's most patient person. So I took 3 weeks off to step away from the situation. Because I'm learning. And isn't that what we're here to do? Aren't we here to learn? Aren't we here to grow? Aren't we here to awaken? To become more aware? And yet, isn't it also so gratifying to realize that we actually do know far more than we think we do? And it's just there in the background, waiting for our acknowledgement of it. Thanks for having me here, and so it is.
Thank you.
So it's my understanding I'm doing a meditation. All righty. Are you going to noodle in the background? I would love that. Thank you. Okay. So let's just go within, shall we? Take another deep breath. We've been doing lots of breathing today. And as we digest this message, we know more than we think we do. I will simply remind us again of some of the ways that we can make our intuition, our inner knower, welcome. Making space for quiet. Even if it's just a moment to stop and breathe. Just being in that silence. It allows that inner voice to come through. Do that right now. Just go into the silence for a moment. And even if you hear nothing, that is still making the space welcome. And then if something does come up, start noticing what is coming up. That nudge, that hint, that gut feeling. Tune into your subtle responses. And even ask, is this for me? What do I need to know here? And when something does come up, it doesn't have to be the lightning bolt. It can simply be a yes or a no. It can simply be a sense, a word, or even a big old no. Allow yourself to play in your imagination. This is where intuition, it is its playground. So rather than making judgments, to be creative, allow that, trust it, and give it space. And listen to your body. It holds great, great wisdom. It is made out of ancient, timeless substance. And it knows. And finally, once again, releasing attachment to timing and simply knowing right action taking place. Even if the timing doesn't look like what we want, it is always, always, always in right action and right timing. And just allowing that sense of knowing, of you know more than you think you do, walking through life with that idea, not in an egotistical way, in a way of awe, and in a way of absolute trust and faith. And when you're ready, return now to this room, to this place, and be here now. And so it is.
And we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much, Pat. That was so much fun. That was so much fun. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white. The bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. 'Cause the colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people myself, what a wonderful world now. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful Cause the colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thanks, Thomas. I like the rain stick at the end. That was really nice.
Thank you, Josh. Josh is so great. Thank you. Thank you very much for blessing us with your truth. You triggered some things for me. So there was the trying to sell your home and trying to buy another. I immediately thought of Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Yes. And then I don't know if you know that your meditation stealer, who steals my talk every week as well, just so you know, yeah. Mother, son.
That was why I laughed so hard when you said that.
Yeah. And then you triggered the four agreements, and I love that he also refers to it as the dream of the planet. Yeah, we're born into that. That rings so true. And then what was the collective. So when I first met my wife, Leslie, she had angel cards, and she would pull out these angel cards, and I was like, whatever. It's like, this is a bunch of wah, wah, whoa, whoa, right? And then she also had this parking spot song that she's been singing since she was like 16. And we've been married 25 years now, and the parking spot song never fails. There's always a parking spot that magically appears. And the song, I'm going to butcher it, but here it goes. Parking spot, ooh, I need a parking spot. Parking spot, yes, I need a parking spot. And then it's like magically a parking spot appears. So she convinced me. And then I became a minister. Just from that, from the parking spot song to here. Okay. Abundance affirmation. Would you please, Josh? And again, thank you so much. It was a gift. Thank you. Yes, and so on that note, we are an extremely blessed community from not only the financial contributions that we receive, but the talent that people bring forth, the gift of service that people bring forth. And so what I've noticed in my being part of this community is how incredibly relentless people are at keeping this community alive and well and healthy. And for that, I say thank you. Thank you very, very much. We had a board training yesterday with Martha Creek, and we had this exercise where we thought about potential problems that might arise in our ministry and who would step into those roles. And we were asked to name them. Each one of us individually would come up with a list of names for each one of these 5 areas. And then we went around the room, and as you heard a name that you wrote down, you checked it off. And when it got to you, if you had names that hadn't been checked off, you contributed those names as well. And, Martha Creek is not one to blow smoke anywhere. And she was blown away at the amount of people that we could call on in our collective community to serve in a need for this ministry. And so for that, I say thank you. I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. And if you are in a financial position to support the work we do here, of course, we thrive and at times survive on the donations, the financial contributions of our congregation. There's a number of ways you can do it. You can e-transfer to donations at unityvancouverisland.com. You can, after service, we have a little square. You can tap a card on there if you would like, or we just take good old-fashioned cash in a box as well, or you can mail a check to this address here at 2020 Estevan Road here in Nanaimo. And again, I say thank you for your contributions. And please, you're welcome to join me in our children's blessing. And this is not only for the children that we have in our congregation, but also children from around the world. So please join me. We see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. And so join me in our prayer for protection. And we are going to use the very original writing of the prayer for protection as it was written by James Dillett Freem. So please join me. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. Hey, we're here. We're here. The peace song. Like, you can stand and join hands. If that's uncomfortable for you, you don't have to do that at all. Don't feel pressured into doing that, but please join us in song if you would like. We're going to rock it up today, Josh. Let's go. Okay.
Here we go. I'll start us off. Here we go. Yes, there is peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With love as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yeah, let it begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. That's it. Yeah.
Please join us for refreshments in the back, the side room there, and of course the kitchen is where you can get your tea and coffee.